Hey, Kelly, guess what?
What, Mike?
I bought another Ambernic RG35XYZ, whatever. And guess what?
What, Mike?
It also stopped working almost immediately, much even quicker this time.
That's bad.
Yeah, this is
That's really
this is
bad.
not great. I saw one on a lightning deal, the exact same one that Kelly has, the kind of Game Boy style one this time. Came with garlic already installed, as well as a case. I was excited. It was $55, I think was the lightning deal,
Yeah.
that exact one.
So, prop man, here you go.
I don't have a prop for this one because it broke. So I got it, turned it on. My first impression, which I let Kelly know right away, is that this thing was a mess. Uh, First off, it had nowhere near the number of games that it promised pre-installed, which is fine. I would just be going through and adding ROMs and stuff anyway, so it is what it is. I'm not concerned about that. But the stuff was a mess. Like the folders were a mess. There was duplicates. There was stuff in wrong folders, so it wouldn't even load because it wasn't with the right emulators. Super Nintendo games and Genesis folders and all kinds of stuff. Some games that just didn't play at all. The other one wasn't like that. Like everything was pretty clean the way it was all put together. This thing was a train wreck. It was put together. And then I was playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which luckily did immediately start playing, and the screen started glitching. And I was like, oh, that sucks, because I just thought it's the ROM not playing correctly. I was like, that sucks, because that's a fun game, and it would have been cool to be able to play it on the go. So, I went back to the menu, and then as I'm scrolling through, again, artwork missing for almost every game. But the couple games that did have the box art that came up, like that was all kind of scrambled all of a sudden. And they were games that I definitely had seen the box art before in my first time scrolling through. So I tried playing a few more games, and of the very few that actually played, the screen immediately started glitching on them. Then the menus started glitching on me, and then it just didn't play at all. So it lasted 15 minutes or so once I turned it on. Once I played a game for about 10 minutes straight through is when everything started to fall apart with it.
Hmm.
So I think I'm done with Ambernic. I don't know that I'm giving that another shot.
Well, I'm gonna. So we've had this conversation before about Super Console X, although
Mm.
that was only you only had to try twice, so it's a little different from there. But so Mike gave me a heads up when he got the Lightning deal, and I had been asked for a friend if I could um, get him one of those and set it up, get it kind of organized because out of the box coming in, it needs some work. It's the ones I've dealt with so far weren't quite in the disarray that Mike's talking about, but it's not a, oh, here you go, hand it off. Because more than anything else, it needs to be, they've just ROM dumped so much. The Game Boy Advance folder is just full of so many games and so many games that are highly unlikely. The Mary Kate and Ashley materials probably not a big play for a lot of folks. Sorry. And so a lot of cleanup to do. But I
That's what
so I
Kelly thinks.
so I came in probably a couple days after Mike's order, and the Lightning deal was off, but it was still just over $60. And it's a nice, I mean, it was a really good deal because when I bought it, it was around that price, but I had to then buy a case separately. And this one came with a case, a really nice case. And it did because the original one I got, I had to get the material and install Garlic OS, which significantly improves the gameplay, I think, and the overall experience on the RG35XX. So I got Garlic up and running and got things configured there. This now comes with a dual operating system that it comes still with the Ambernic one, but you can jump to a menu option and flip and go to Garlic, and you haven't had to do any of the install stuff. And so that was a big plus on there. But then I wanted to hand it over in good shape, which was a lot of time weeding through the playlists, getting rid of a few things, getting rid of a lot of things in terms of games, The box art situation's not typically great, so I use Scraper to go ahead and build new sets of thumbnails that seem to work pretty well. Also, the gentleman I'm setting this up for is a big Amiga guy, so I wanted to kind of include a good cross section of Amiga stuff. It's dicey Amiga stuff on the Ambernic 35XX. So I had, but ended up having about 45 Amiga games that worked just fine. So did all that, got it done, spent a lot of time with it. So when you kind of you've got to put in the time to make it useful, but it also has to work. That's one caveat, I guess. Uh, the reason I think you need to grieve for a while, just step away from Ambernick and do it. But at some point, if you want to give it a third time's the charm type of thing, the one thing I will mention is this time around, as I got back into it and was doing things I was frustrated in the past, I got Doom to work just fine, but Doom 2 was kind of hassling me and it had worked for a while and stopped working. And so I solved that, found a better situation there, and then also found a bunch of additional user design ones. So like a Wolfenstein and a Star Wars Doom. So my Doom section on my Ambernic now has a nice cross section of some kind of interesting uh, Doom user created stuff. And the Star Wars one's tough, very difficult so far, but looks a lot like Dark Forces, your first version. So but so the only reason that I'm kind of at least saying maybe down the road after appropriate grieving and frustration to consider it is shockingly it plays Doom. Go figure that. And it plays a lot of versions of Doom. So that part might be that I think you might get some enjoyment out. And it is, when it works, a great form factor. And the guy that I gave it to has been he's traveling a lot here and so far, no complaints yet, but it is a little concerning because this is the second Ambernic device that you've had problems with. Um, so I get that, but I've been, I've been luckier in that the two that have rolled my way have not really had issues with beyond. You've got to be willing to invest the time to clean some stuff up, get the thumbnail set the right way, and dig around for some good copies of Doom. So something to think about.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even mind so much the sort of cluttered interface issues because again, I was probably just going to mostly throw up the stuff that I wanted on there anyway. So I wasn't too concerned about what it was coming with, especially because I have what a million ROMs on the Super Console X that I can pull from. So I wasn't super concerned about that. But the other one wasn't like that. Like it was a pretty clean setup. It also had way more games on it. This had a very small selection. Most of the systems had under 10 games
Hmm.
on there. Yeah, it was very small selection of games. Maybe a couple hundred across all of the systems, and nearly all of them didn't work. As I would attempt the ROMs. But the screen going is really, the obvious issue. And that's my biggest concern with them because this is two in a row where this is a hardware issue. The first one, the start button stopped working within a couple of days. This one, the screen stopped working once it played for 10 minutes straight.
Hmm. So if you're listening, Amber Nick, there's an opportunity to make it right with Mike. So you may want to do that. If not, like I said, go through the appropriate grieving process. We can revisit it later. The biggest thing I've seen so far is this looks like one of the cleanest shortcuts to a nice Doom library of some
Yeah,
pretty
I would
cool stuff.
absolutely love that. And of course, the ability to play Slapdash on the go.
Yep. Always a bonus, and the another copy of Slapdash made its way out with that Ambernick too. So added it to the favorites and did everything because yes, that's a game that needs
Nice.
to be visible.
Absolutely. And, there's rumors going around that more Slapdash might be coming sooner than everyone thinks.
Yay! um, What I will say yay about is it'd be awesome, and you'll get me to say yay if you subscribe to the Bog Panda YouTube channel and hit that bell for notifications when Mike gets another Ambernic that doesn't work, so you can hear him talk about that. And check that out. Also, be sure to give a listen to Hard No, the world's shortest podcast. Every episode under 1 minute, every episode free. If you want to maybe subscribe and wait a month before you start listening to Hard No, might not be a bad idea. We're under the Belinsky rules here for the next series of things, and I don't know. I'm a little worried about how the theme's going to go over. We'll see how it goes on there.
I think Kelly's wrong. I think
Yep,
history's on my side on this one.
Yeah, we'll report back when the hey, just so you know, we're at 1,206 subscribers as of today, as of before Mike's idea makes its way to our shorts.
Already picked up one more subscriber.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But you can also check out the t-shirt store, which has no t-shirts related to booty dust and never will. And but there are cool t-shirts out there. And you should check those out and give them a look. So anything else you'd like to say, sir?
No, keep playing Slapdash and keep listening to Hard No.
Bog Panda.